Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm doing a review of a trophy wine night I had with one of my buddies. And this goes to show you don't really need to have a lot of wines, you just have to have some really good wines. And this was a night of 4 really excellent wines. All of them I rated over 95 points. So it was just a magnificent night. Here is a quick video of the bottles. I like to always scan through them. And the first bottle I had was the Giuseppe Mascarello 1978 Barolo Valero. I bought this at auction, and whenever you buy old wines like this at auction, you do take a bit of a risk. I was really fortunate. This bottle was just perfect. The cork was very nice. We did not decant it all, we just drank it out of the bottle, and it was really singing. I went back and did some research and found out this was actually the first vintage of Valero that was produced. Previous to this, Giuseppe Mascarello had only produced Barolo that was generic, and 1978 was the first year he produced a single cru from Valero. So I didn't even know it was that special, but it was exceptional and everything that you want from a aged Barolo. Perfect condition, just singing, lasted for an hour and a half easily. Beautiful wine. I hope to do a full review of that sometime later. I do have another bottle, and this bottle was exceptional. My tasting notes, very perfumed with roses, violets, and orange grind on the nose. I served without decanting and needed about 30 to 60 minutes in the glass before it settled down. And then you got dried strawberry with herbs, earth, and wet leaves. My rating was 95 points. Next wine is the Screaming Eagle 2012 vintage, which is supposed to be a very good vintage. I've previously drank this vintage, and you'll see a review of that where I did a comparative tasting with a flight wine. That'll be at the end of this video. Again, very exceptional wine. My friend brought this. He had double decanted it for about 6 to 8 hours before it came to the restaurant, so it was really in great shape. Then we poured it out, and it was just singing. This was probably the wine of the night with the Latour. And we only had 4 wines, but all 4 were just ridiculously good. So it's a really good comparison. We have these quality of wine to be back to back, and everything is so good. They're all so pleasurable, and it's just a little bit of minute details that would rate them a bit higher. So this was sweet with fruit, but heavy enough to cover the alcohol. The alcohol content is quite high on Screaming Eagle wines, but it's very smooth and balanced. I got blackberry and truffles with wet tea and tar and an earthy aftertaste. I still don't think it's really at its peak, but the aftertaste goes on for like 2 minutes. So it's a wonderful wine, and one of my 2 wines of the night, although all of them are really exceptional. My rating was 98 points. The Screaming Eagle was tasted side by side with the Flight 2018. This was a great wine also. I think in previous vintages it's called Second Flight, but I guess they don't really want to call these wines second wines because they're so good by themselves, so it's kind of an alternative wine. The difference between Screaming Eagle and Flight is really that the Screaming Eagle will have a lot more cab in the mix, whereas the Flight will have about half between Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon, more Merlot dominant. But really exceptional wine. I've had previous vintages of this wine, and I think this is exceptional. This vintage was exceptional. I'm gonna leave the tasting notes for my full video, which will follow in a couple of weeks. So you'll have to watch that video for my notes of this wine. This was my other wine of the night, which is the 2012 Chateau Latour. This was the first vintage that was released on Pernod with the late releases. This is the year that they started where Chateau Latour said they're no longer participating in the futures market, and only release wines that they think are ready to drink. And I think the 2012 was released, I think, if memory serves me right, about 5 or 6 years ago. I can't remember exactly when. But this again was brought by a friend, double decanted for 6 hours, and then brought to the restaurant. And that really opened up the wine. 2012 is not supposed to be a strong vintage, but it's remarkable that Latour is able to choose wines that they, I think, are very drinkable, and this was very drinkable. My notes, very smooth, soy sauce, quince, and a spicy vanilla on the nose, red berries, currants with mineral and graphite aftertaste. It was really, really drinkable, very smooth, just delectable. And again, with the Screaming Eagle, hard to prefer just because my palate likes French wines. I think I would prefer drinking Chateau Latour, even though I know Screaming Eagle is a lot more expensive, and maybe that comes in the equation also. But I rated it also 98 points. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed my tasting night with my friend. It was an exceptional night. Until next time, happy drinking.